circus recently. I saw an advertisement online for a horror circus, and I was like, yes, please, sign me up. It was the Paranormal Circus 2 specifically. They're going to be all over the Pacific Northwest this summer. Looked like they were in Wisconsin too. But it was a good group of performers. Acrobats, contortionists, tightrope walkers, dancers, someone sang. I mean, a circus really is a talent show. There is this one woman that was phenomenal. She did a piece where she was suspended from a ring in her bun. So she was suspended from her hair. And it was nuts. It's beautiful. I feel like a circus is a celebration of the limits that humans can test and the art form that lies there. Because it's not just that they're doing these athletic feats, it's that it's done with the pizzazz and the sparkle and the presence, like, of a dance. A lot of dick jokes, though. We could probably do without some of the dick jokes. I don't know if that's just I'm in my 30s and dick jokes aren't as funny anymore, or the jokes they chose were not funny to me. There was one in particular. They had a dummy in an electric chair, and when they turned it on, he would get electrocuted and shake and stuff. And one of the performers, dressed up as Mike Myers during break, was taking pictures with people on stage. And at one point he made the joke, he pulled over the guy in the electric chair, the fake person, like it was going down on them, and then hit the electric button so that it was shaking on his pretend dick. And I don't know, that one just, I mean, there's lots of problems with it, but that one felt a little unnecessary. But there's no consent with a stage dummy thing. I went in kind of blind. I didn't really know what to expect. I saw a black and white tent and a bunch of red letters, and the discount code was face off, and I'm like, yeah, sure, that sounds like fun. Let's go. I didn't know how big it would be. I knew it wouldn't have animals, but when I saw Barnum and Bailey as a kid in Rochester, New York, there was a whole motorcycle thing where they're driving around in cages and stuff, and that was really fucking dope. Totally wasn't room for it here. Their setup, it's portable. They set up in one parking lot and then move to the next. Which also meant that the seats were not very comfortable, but that didn't bother me so much. I just thought it was funny. that I'm surrounded by like 30 and 40-year-olds, and all of them are complaining about the seats. It's like, yep, that's just where I am in life now. But then there's me, and my body is achy and sore today, most likely because I sat on a hard curb to watch a parade yesterday for like 3 hours. The alternative is like I'm getting the flu, and I really don't want that to be the thing. There are plans to be done, and we're hoping to have people over for 4th of July, so I should really get going on that. Probably get food. I don't really care to clean up the yard. The yard is what it is. I like it when the grass is long and the dandelions are out. I think it's fun. But I did go through and deadheaded the rhododendron to make that look more presentable for people. And I've been working on our blackberries. I keep going through phases where I'm like, okay, I'm going to control these blackberries to the fence. We're gonna get this, and then I just like ignore it for a month. But I've kind of got it going back in towards the fence line, as opposed to they were just coming straight out, because I mean, that's the best course of action if you're a plant and you want to grow. Some massive vines, stalks, thorny protrusions. There's one, it's like that thick around. It's like $50. Beefy boy. I wish I was better at telling which of the blackberry shoots were going to turn into berries and which ones were going to turn into creepy crawlies. Because they'd be easier to direct when they're little, but I just keep waiting until they get flowers and stuff. There are also berries in the ditch out front, like the easement between the road and the house. This is on the other side of the fence. Never look over there, but I was walking down the street yesterday, and I realized it is full of blackberries, little blackberries, like maybe that big. Size of a jelly bean. It looked like there were some that were starting to get ripe, so I'll give it another week maybe, and then go through and see if I can pick a whole bunch. They're probably too seedy to like do something with, but it's still good for eating, still good for snacks. And this land is living up to the name it chose for itself. So I call, like when I'm journaling and stuff, I call our home the Bramble. Shortly after we moved in here, I had shuffled a plant oracle deck, and I asked the land, this chunk of earth, what its name was, or if it could tell me about itself, something like that. And I pulled the card, the Bramble. And it seemed unnecessarily correct. Not only do we have a wall of big blackberries, we've got raspberries, we've got 2 other types of blackberries, we've got blueberries, not a bramble. We and between that and all of like the thorny fucking roses, because some of these roses, man, like, it's very Mad Maxy how many spikes there are. But it chose the bramble. The bramble seemed correct. I made a sigil for it, which I like to doodle on things. And there we go. This is how our land became named. I've been fucking around on Instagram a lot lately. It amuses me. And I like to take pictures of pretty things, and it is a place for me to show said pictures of pretty things. And I've been looking through like the suggested people to follow, and a handful of people from high school came up, and I was like, oh shit. It's not that I hadn't necessarily thought about them in a while, and it's interesting to see what they're up to nowadays. It's, for the most part, I lost contact with people from high school, with 2 exceptions, after graduation, because my family moved away. So, like, I never spent my college summers back at my hometown. I visited once. I visited my friend that I'm still in contact with. I visited him several times. But most people just, life was life, and living different lives. But I'm curious to see what they're up to. I think that would be fun. I wrote one of them a letter. I don't have a way to send it yet. I could probably get creepy and stalky, but I'm not going to. This is not going to be my foray. But I sent her a message, like, hey, I wrote you a letter. Can I send it to you? So hopefully she's still active-ish on Instagram, and I'll get a reply back, because that would be really cool to reconnect with some of the girls from high school. I don't remember a lot. Like, I couldn't tell you what we did. Like, I don't know. I think it's just memory. That's just how memory works, how time works. And I'm curious to talk to people from back then, a bit about back then. But I don't find that's a good place to start. Someone else was like, oh shit, I went to prom with this person. I sent them a music suggestion that seemed like the least creepy way to reach out. And I started following the girl that I was like in love with in high school. She was part of that friend group. I took any opportunity I could get to kiss her. In a consenty way. I feel like I remember playing a kissing game on a bus. I did love a good kissing game in the day. We played what we called Awkward Sorry. I don't know how it came about, but Josh and his friends had a board at their college, and I made a copy for my group of friends. You just add a bunch of symbols to the sorry board, and you do whatever it says, and it's a combination of like a stripping game, a kissing game, and a drinking game called Awkward Sorry. Those are hazy nights, but what I remember of them, they were a fucking hoot. I also tend to be around people that are cool with nudity, or at least that was the case in college, so that was nice. I'm here for it. But I wonder more about the practical applications of being a nudist. Because, like, no pants in the house, yeah, sure. But, like, there's the bicycle riders in Seattle. And that just doesn't seem like it would be comfortable. Like, they make specific pants to ride bicycles that cushion your bottom and your jewels. Like... I have questions. But questions I will not seek answers to. Or at least not verbally annoy someone. Maybe I'll do a Google. There's a nudist colony around here. Should go at some point. Think if it passed a background check, which, like, fair. It's a concept I don't know a lot about from, like, an inside perspective. But it's my understanding of it is, and just bodies being bodies. Like, I'm here for it. I'm here for a lot of things. Yeah, though. Am I here for a good time? Here for something. So, our garden isn't anything spectacular, but it is growing, and we have had harvests of radish and lettuce. I've been harvesting the lettuce by just taking like the big leaves off of each little bundle, and leaving all the small leaves because then they grow. Uh, there's a rhyme and reason behind it. I don't remember what it is. But the squash plant is large and doesn't have flowers yet. The cucumber plant is dwarfed by the squash plant, also no flowers yet. We've got 2 pepper plants, one of which took like a month and a half to sprout. I don't know how these things work. It gave me a date. I put seeds in the ground at that date, and I just wait. And then I let things grow a little bigger so I can see if they're what I want or something that's volunteering. So with the tomato plants, you're supposed to have 2, and we ended up with 3. Well, we are left with 3 now. And we went down 1. There were 2 tomatoes planted side by side, but a ball landed on one of them when they were wee seedlings, and River dove after it and killed them. So we just had the one guy. And I thought that's all you were going to have, and that's fine. Or go get a starter, like a one from the store. But we had planted tomatoes last year, and we did not pick, like at the end of the season there were a bunch that were still green, and we didn't pick those. We just left them. And that or fallen fruit or something. We had like 6 volunteer tomato plants. So I tried transplanting one to where the tomato plant is supposed to be, and then I just left the other one there, like, because honestly, if I get more tomatoes and less radishes, oh no. I'm good with this. But those will be cherry tomatoes. I don't know which of the tomato plants I planted is the one that survived, but they were both, I think, heirloom type tomatoes. One was red and one was purple. And the carrots are doing their thing. I don't really know when to tell when it's ready, but it seems too small. Like they would be very small carrots. And then some of the radishes, they didn't get really big at all, but they flowered. I'm probably not supposed to let them do that, but like, if a couple of them want to flower, like, whatever, it's cute. Whatever, it's our garden. I really like it out here. Even with all the noise. Especially with headphones on. It's serene. It's delightful. This is my 9 of Pentacles. The Bramble is my 9 of Pentacles. And it's beautiful. And I hope it knows its love.